Hello, everybody. I'm Nick Eubank, and I'm going to be your instructor for the Computational Methods for Social Scientists bootcamp that we're going to be running this year in 2021. I just wanted to take a moment to welcome you to the class, whether you're going to be taking this synchronously or asynchronously, and just give you a little bit of information about what you can expect about the course, as well as give you a sense of some of the things that you'll need to do before our first class session. So the first thing that I want to show you is the website that we're going to be using for this course. This website is going to contain basically everything that you need to know for this course, including all of the assignments and the reading materials. In particular, this class schedule and curriculum is going to be the place that you're most going to be needing to pay attention to, because it's going to tell you about the types of things that you need to do before each class. This class is going to be organized as a flipped classroom. That means that you're going to be responsible for reading materials before we come to class. And then we're going to spend our class time mostly working on different exercises together in different ways. Programming is a skill that you only learn by doing, and so I think it's really valuable for us to emphasize the doing part together in class, where as you run into problems, we can talk about the different issues that people are running into. That does mean that this class is going to require some investment from you up front. I recognize that there's a lot going on at this time of the year as people are moving and adjusting. I think what I want to say is that this course has very much been designed in the interest of trying to make your life easier in the first year as an incoming graduate student. And so while I know you have a lot of other things that are going to be demanding your time these days, I do want to suggest that the more you put into this course, I think the easier it's going to make your life over the course of the next year. So I'm really going to encourage you to try to put a little time into preparing for our classes so you can get everything out of this, and hopefully the big methods classes that you'll be expected to take in the first year are going to feel a lot more straightforward than they would if you didn't have this type of training. Now, as you can see here on the website, right from session 1, there's a list of things that I'm going to ask you to do before that first class session. The first one is just watching this welcome video. There's also a student knowledge assessment survey. This is just to help me get a better sense of the type of background that you're coming in with, what languages you've worked with before, whether you've worked with Stata or R, or you have no background experience at all. Again, to reiterate, there is zero assumed knowledge in this course. So if your answer to all the questions on this are, I've never worked with any of these tools, great, you're in the right place. At the same time, if you have some experience with R, after about a decade working with social scientists, I think I can say with confidence that the curriculum that we have for this is something that's going to bring a lot of value to people, even if you have some experience working in R already. So I think hopefully this is going to provide value to everyone, even if the first two readings, the readings for the first class, feel a little bit slow, things will pick up relatively quickly. The next thing I'm going to ask you to do is review the course summary. This is just the homepage from this website, and it talks a little bit about expectations and the goals of the class. And then there's going to be two assignments for you to read. The first one is an introduction to R, and the other is an introduction to data types. As you see, these will be basically readings, as well as in one place a link to a video to help you get R installed, to start working with RStudio, which is the editor that we're going to be using for interacting with R, and then starting to understand the basics of how we execute and run code in R. Doing this before the first class means that we don't have to waste an entire class section trying to get people's installations up and running and things like that, and so that we can use that first class to answer questions you may have from these different readings. The last thing I want to encourage you to do before this first class is you should have all received an invitation to a group on Slack. I've been using the shorthand cm4ss. Indeed, you can see that the URL for this course is cm4ss.com, because computational methods for social scientists gets long. Please accept that Slack notification, because we're going to have to do this online, because people haven't gotten cleared from their initial incoming COVID tests yet. We're going to use that for a lot of coordination. I will email out kind of big announcements, but for a lot of things like seeking help and asking questions, that Slack channel is probably going to be the place that we do most of our work. Anyway, I hope that gives you a sense of what we're going to be doing and what it's going to be important for you to do before we get to our first class. If you run into questions during these initial readings and things, that's why we have the Slack channel, so feel free to raise your questions there. But beside that, I'm really excited to get to work with you guys. I think this is going to be a really exciting experience, and hopefully it's really going to make this first year a really much more straightforward experience for you. Thanks so much.